the very super Liam with me on tonight's show, where we'll be discussing Manchester United's recent victory against Aston Villa, plus lots of other off-topic soccer/football subjects. Liam, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing great, mate. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really looking forward to talking about different football point of views of the weekend. There's been some pretty good goals this season, so and this weekend, should we say? So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Absolutely. You can condense goal of the season just in from these last days. I mean,
Yeah,
Jermaine Defoe's super blockbuster left-footed volley today into the top corner. Then Charlie Adams flew
yeah,
toe poked 65-yard meter, whatever you want to call it, goal. And yeah, and then Bobby Zamora's, which technically was probably the best, but
definitely.
you probably have to give credit to Charlie Adams. He'll probably win goal of the season. But anyway, did you watch the game yesterday, Manchester United?
Yeah. No, it was. I think a lot of United fans I've been seeing on Twitter, I've catched some highlights from match of the day. It was not a very confident team performance, but they're getting the job done, and I think that means a lot to a lot of United fans. Considering I remember talking on the United View a few weeks back, and they were saying, "Oh, top four's not even in it." And I was saying, "I can't see them doing it." But fair play to Lou Van Gaal and fair play to the players. They got the fingers out. They've said, "Come on, we can't." I mean, United in the top four. I can't even remember the last time that was in my lifetime. So, they're definitely a great performance. Herrera 2 goals. I believe, did he get an assist? I think he did get an assist.
I think so, yeah.
So he's playing blinded with Fellaini. Rooney. Oh yeah, forgot to mention him. He's had a really good goal as well against Villa.
Oh, yeah.
The only criticism, but I don't want to criticise him too much, 'cause I think he saved United a lot. De Gea, maybe he could have done a bit better, but then again, I look at the defence. Could they have closed Benteke down a bit quicker? There's a lot of points. But no, I think overall 3-1, 3 points, and United charging maybe for second. Who never knows?
Second, indeed. Well, the performance I thought was definitely it's been coming for the last couple of weeks. I mean, we saw against Liverpool, and against Spurs. I mean, the last 3 games, it's like almost as if we've turned the corner. But I hate to use that phrase, turning the corner, because we play City next week and then Chelsea. So all this could kind of end up with egg on our face, kind of, if we lose them 2 games. But I was really pleased with the way we played. I think having Michael Carrick back has really, really helped gel and kind of bring back that team chemistry that we've been lacking, and confidence, because we weren't always necessarily being positive. We would always kind of play the ball sideways and play the safe ball, when Blind was playing where Carrick is playing currently. And with Michael Carrick, he likes to get his head up and pass the ball forward. And I think that's given Herrera an extra license, if you like, to get forward, push. I mean, if you even watched him against Liverpool, he was all over the place, Herrera. He was awesome. And then just yesterday, I mean, them 2 goals, fantastic. Reminded me of a very young Paul Scholes, when he used to pop up and score goals, get 15 goals a season for us. So super happy. Going into the game against City, it's going to be good. The fact that we're playing with confidence right now. But speaking of, let's just touch on Aston Villa. What were your thoughts on Villa and Tim Sherwood and what he's doing there at the moment?
See, with Tim Sherwood, I kind of like his personality in a way, what he brings to the Premier League. I do like one of those kind of managers, but I think, is he really as good as it's meant out to be? Is he just in it for himself? And I do question that. But then again, look, Villa are in the semi-finals. They're at Wembley, so it's very 50-50 of how. I mean, are they 3 points off relegation? I don't think they're. Considering I think the rest of the teams, it was Leicester, QPR, did they win?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
I mean, look. I think the whole point with Tim Sherwood is that, look, I think it's over harsh if we really kind of are critical on him, because he's only been in the job 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I think Paul Lambert was just one of them managers that stagnated. He plateaued. I think he plateaued after Norwich, to be honest. He didn't go anywhere with Villa. And Villa, to be honest, Randy Lerner, he's not really invested in the team. So then there's that argument as well. has the investment been in? And Villa do, rely a lot on their youth academy, to bring players through, and they've brought some decent players through. But can decent players, keep you in the Premier League? I think Tim Sherwood. I don't think so. I think you need that kind of blend of experience, some foreign play people coming in, just to elevate people's levels, But Tim Sherwood, I think he'll be all right. I don't think Villa will get relegated. I think he'll be a good manager for them because he's that motivator. He's that one, the person who'll get right in your grill and shout at you if you need to kind of be told what when you're not performing. And I think some of the Villa players need that kick up the backside. But what do you think of Benteke?
I think, well, personally, I think it was a few years ago when Benteke had that amazing season. He was linked with like the likes of Spurs. I even think United's name might have been in there. So I remember that recently he's had injuries. He's just been very off. And that old Benteke that I knew, I don't know where that's gone. But then again, I could kind of say the same for Fellaini in a way. So good at Everton, then he kind of completely went off form. I mean, in the Moyes era, fair enough, but an early LVG start. But recently, he's been fantastic. So I think with a lot of players, it's very on and off form. And do some gel with the Premier League, then goes off. It's quite hard to put it into words. Was it down to formations? Was it down to training? But yeah, Benteke, he did get the goal, obviously. I think he was quite a lucky guy. I think De Gea on his day could have probably done a bit more. And I think he's very angry with himself. But like I say, I can't really criticise De Gea much because he saved United a lot of times this season.
Well, he's proved he's human, hasn't he? Humans are prone to a mistake or two.
Yeah,
it's interesting, about comparing Fellaini. See, I'm a firm believer that form is temporary and class is permanent. And I think same with Benteke. I think he's had a lot of injuries. He's had suspensions. And Villa themselves haven't necessarily been playing to the levels that would bring the best out of him. But using Fellaini as an example, I mean, once you kind of get out of it and you move further forward, you can really start to play well. And I think Benteke would be brilliant at somewhere like Arsenal. I mean, look at Giroud. I mean, I think he's a better player than Giroud, even though Giroud's scoring goals left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Because he's 6'2", he's a monster, and he's great in the air, strong, fast. He complement the players of Arsenal. That's where I think he'd be really, really dangerous. But whereas Villa, I don't think the service is there, nor the quality there, that's what it is. But anyway, moving on from Aston Villa, who were your standout players for Manchester United?
Standout players. I think, personally for this game, I'd say Rooney.
Mm-hmm.
I think Herrera also. I kind of see like the recent performances as a overall team performance. So I very much, you lose as a team. Wayne Rooney, Herrera, they would stand out for me. If you're going to give man a match, it's got to be one of those. So personally, maybe Herrera, just because he got the 2 goals and an assist, and from a kind of central mid player, that's not happens every day. But no, I think definitely overall, I think great performance, and I think the 3 lads and I think the whole team done very well.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't agree with you. Herrera would have got it from me, but just kind of on Rooney, I didn't think he had his best of game. I scored a worldie, but he had an on and off. I think had the referee kind of given him a penalty the first 2-3 minutes when Kieran Clark brought him down, I think it might have changed the whole outlook completely from the start of the game. I think would have gone on to batter them like 6 or 7-0 because he would have been sent off. United would have got a penalty, and I'd fancy Rooney to score that penalty, and then he would have had his tail up. But I think it was kind of a frustrated afternoon for Rooney. Yeah. But he scored, sign of a good player.
I think that's also about Rooney. Like he's he's clinical. And I think when you need someone to step up, obviously like Falcao, he hasn't been doing it for some reason this season. That's like, I mean, that's a completely other debate and a lot I could talk about on that. But yeah, I think Rooney, I think he's just for United, he's good to have in the team. Just knowing you have that captain, you have that man. I think he's an overall, he's really good for United. I think, maybe he's worth 300 grand a week. I know it's a ridiculous amount of money for kicking the ball around for 90 minutes, but he does get the goals, and recently that's been happening, and United are going up.
Oh, absolutely. And then, I mean, like under Herrera, I mean, that boy, my word, he's like a beautiful flower. He's just blossoming into this exceptional player. I mean, like I saw on Twitter today that one of the reasons why Man United didn't buy Toni Kroos was because they had Ander Herrera in mind. I don't necessarily subscribe or believe that, because to be honest with you, if Kroos said, "Hey, I want to come to United," I think United would have, chopped his hand off.
Definitely.
But I mean, I can't complain. Herrera is phenomenal. What I really like the fact about him, there's a steeliness to him. He's not soft. Like, I mean, Mata's a bit soft. He can easily get pushed off the ball, or if somebody goes in hard, drifting out of game. Whereas Herrera is in your face. He'll get stuck in. And I mean, look, just what was evident against Liverpool when Slippery G, he retaliated because Herrera wasn't having any of it.
That's true.
And I really think, this season, once he gets this whole season under him and a good pre-season, I think we'll really, really see the signs of a player that will be starting for the Spanish national team. And you know how stacked they are with central midfield players. I think he's got that much potential. I think he's going to be one of the best central midfielders in England and probably the world.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think Herrera, he's come in from United. He's still very young, and I think he's learning. And obviously, something, I mean, at the kind of a few weeks back, I was thinking, he wasn't playing as much, and a lot of United were thinking, oh God, has there been something in the training grounds? Has there been like a bit of a fight between him and Van Gaal? Then I know there's the tax situation, I believe, which also I think Van Gaal kind of wanted him to sort that out. But I believe he was a witness. I don't think he was actually anything to do with whether the tax avoidance or something like that. But no, I think he's definitely, like you said, he's just blossoming into some magician for United. And I think, him playing has just been amazing. And long may it reign.
Absolutely. And the thing about Herrera as well, I think a couple of weeks ago in the papers, he came out and said the reason why I maybe wasn't playing as much as because I was kind of running after the ball like a headless chicken, and I wasn't listening to Van Gaal when he said, you need to do this, don't always chase. And I suppose that's a sign of enthusiasm on his part, that he really wants to impress, he really wants to be here, there, and everywhere, show his energy, show his pace, show his ability. But sometimes football's a game of chess. You've got to wait, you've got to be kind of precise, and you've got to be ready. And I think Van Gaal has managed the situation really well. Even though at the time I was shouting like most United fans, play Herrera, play him, play him. In hindsight, you think, actually Van Gaal, when you look at it and say, you know what, we've got a better player now. He's more disciplined. I wouldn't say he was never a team player, but he's more of a team player, He's making, he's backtracking, he's dropping into left back or right back when, the Valencia or Shaw or whoever's playing left back is bombing forward. So he's showing maturity to his game, which is a great sign. So I know you mentioned you have lots of family members who are Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Arsenal Liverpool, because whenever Liverpool loses, I'm happy being in my house. So what were your thoughts and feelings on the 4-1 battering the Gooners gave the South?
I mean, that kind of performance from Arsenal, especially on a definitely in-form Liverpool team, I would personally say, considering that, I mean, maybe that United defeat completely took it out of them, and considering it like Gerrard's last Manchester derby, sorry, not Manchester, Man U Liverpool game, which is a lot of history considering how many he's been in. that's really mentally and maybe physically also, done something with them. Because I know Arsenal at the Emirates, they're always very, very strong, either whatever team turn up. But a 4-1 battering against you know, Ozil's free kick class. So I don't think Mignolet could have probably done much to have got that. And Sanchez, I really do think they just muck up big time in the middle of the season. Personally, I think the start of the season they don't do too bad, but then it's just a chasing game at the end. And usually it's a chasing game for fourth. But this season, if they just took some results like Swansea away, stuff like games like that, Arsenal could have been in a lot better position. I generally think they are title contenders, and I think if a few points just went their way, they would definitely be sitting near Chelsea or even higher. Personally,
I 110% agree with you. I honestly think right now there's 7 or 8 games remaining. If there was, say, 12 games remaining in the league, I would honestly fancy, even with the point lead Chelsea have, to Arsenal to win the league. The reason I think what it is they had quite a few players injured, and there's a few people like Welbeck, Sanchez, just new people, Callum Chambers, Debussy, new players bedding into a team. No matter how good you are, you still need time to bed in to the philosophy, the tactics, the style of the team and whatnot. And like they have had some horrific injuries as well. I mean, like most clubs can say they have, but if you really look at Arsenal's midfield and forward line, they've probably got the best midfield and forward line. Probably debatable. Obviously, Chelsea fans will say Chelsea, City, United, but in my opinion, I mean, and what they have in abundance is pace, and pace scares the living daylights out of anybody. I mean, you look at Theo Wilcock. He's not even getting a game, but he's fast as lightning. Welbeck, he's no slouch. Sanchez, I mean, then you've got.
I think they're so creative as well. Santi Cazorla, Mesut Ozil, you had that creative player. I know, like Ramsey, Wilshere. Them two together can be quite deadly. They have a lot of depth. But then again, I think I read actually on Twitter, this is the first time Arsenal have had a full fit squad since 2005. An actual full fit squad. No players injured, because I mean usually it's Diaby. He's the person always out with. I think he's had about 50 injuries all over his body. But to talk like how that, Arsenal have actually got a full fit squad, and I think they'd personally for me, I think second place in an FA Cup would be a great season for Arsenal.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Anything more than fourth, because I mean their fourth place trophy. As we make jokes about it and stuff, it has become a fixture in the Premier League over the last decade or so that they're finishing the fourth spot and whatnot. But they are definitely a team to keep an eye on, because I think Man City and Chelsea are both stuttering. And if you analyse and watch the way they've played over the last few games, they may have won, but they've not won convincingly. And I know it's a sign of a good team to kind of win a game without performing well. And United have done that loads this season, loads. But for me, it's coming at a time of the year where it's the business end of the season, where you should be really put into bed. The likes of Stoke, I mean, fair play to Sparky, came with a plan to frustrate and hit Chelsea on the break, and Chelsea just couldn't break Stoke down at Stamford Bridge as well. If it weren't for the jammy goal where Begovic passed it virtually to, I can't remember who he passed to, Eden Hazard or something.
He set up Remy, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, look at that's like lucky. That's luckier than luck, But
in Stoke, they also had, I think it was Nzonzi. He had a great shot at the post. There was a lot of chances, but they counter-attacked a lot of Stoke, and you don't get that a lot of Stamford Bridge. And I think they are quite on the. I think they're very comfortable, and I think they will win the league, but they don't show a lot of confidence in their performances. And I think that's going back from when they played Paris Saint-Germain. I think that really took a bit of a blowout for them to actually go out of the Champions League that early. And Capital One Cup for Jose Mourinho, is that really enough? The money they spend. I know obviously like Arsenal and United also do, but considering the 10 years period, so everyone says Chelsea's got no history. They're probably right, but in these 10 years they've spent loads of money. But yeah, I think it's Chelsea. I think they're very they need to start showing a bit more strong performances. I think to say we'd certainly win the league, but I think they had such a great start of the season. I mean, Fabregas, the start of the season, how many assists did he have? It was just crazy amount. And Costa was just scoring for fun. So I think they've done definitely the job. But yeah, just wait and see.
I agree with you. I think you highlighted a good point with the Paris Saint-Germain game. I think that was the point in Chelsea's season. I think they were really arrogant and cocky, thinking, you know what, we can just win this. We're going to win the Premier League. They're kind of on autopilot, like we don't really have to kind of go above third gear to kind of get a result. And they've been, like in boxing when you're cocky and arrogant and you think you're going to batter the guy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the guy throws a left hook and it really startles you. I think Chelsea have just been startled. They don't know what to do. They're fighting back, but they still don't know which is the best way to go about it. And that's my interpretation of
and
what's
also,
happening.
I believe Costa's out for 2 weeks. And United are playing Chelsea in those 2 weeks, I believe. So another game he misses. I know he missed the away trip for Chelsea at Old Trafford. I believe he missed that as well. So, yeah, I think, like I said, I do think they'll win it. But give it a few weeks going back in the month and they start getting these shaky results and draws, they could be panicking a little bit. But I think they've done enough at the start of the season.
They play QPR, I believe. I think it's at Loftus Road. I'm not sure. I think it's at Loftus Road.
Yeah.
I honestly think QPR can get a result. Don't look at me like a madman. I'm telling you, look, QPR are fighting for their absolute dear lives. I mean, who'd have thought they had the worst record away from home this season? They went to West Brom, which has been a really difficult place to score since Pulis took over. Scored 3 goals. Granted, they had a man sent off, but the man didn't get sent off until like late in the game, like 80th minute or something. They really just bamboozled West Brom. So QPR, they are fighting for their lives and playing at home, tiny Loftus Road,
Charlie Austin might be, there or thereabouts, But I think, like you said,
no Costa as well. So there's no target man because I think if I'm Mourinho, I'd probably start Drogba because pace is not going to necessarily get you anywhere.
Experience will do it. I think experience will be a lot of a key factor. Also, talking about QPR, I think they've been kind of left in the ditch by Harry Redknapp leaving. I know it's all about the surgery and thing, but I think it's just a quick way of getting out of the job, And so when it does come to relegation day, then who do we blame? He wants to get out of that list, but I feel considering QPR, they spend so much when they go up. They bring in so much, and they've just got to try and get a balance. And I know it's very difficult, but considering what they get, the players they can get, and they don't have bad players.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing wrong to stay up? What are they doing to try and get consecutive results? Try and at least fight out for draws away. Try and perform really good in the home performances. But like you said, I think when Chelsea do go to Loftus Road, it's going to be a massive game for QPR. And I think they're really going to go for it, like you said. I mean, I believe they've won it definitely before.
Well, look at it this way: if Chelsea lose, I mean, it's not likely, but let's be on the fence here a bit and say, wait, what if Chelsea lose? They lose to QPR, and then they come to we go to Stamford Bridge, and we beat them. I mean, I don't think we are going to win. I think it'll probably end up being a draw with Man United. But if we beat, they've lost 2 games back to back. That's 6 points.
I believe Chelsea, they have a game in hand. I think that is the QPR game.
That's the QPR game. But still, though, if you lost 2, and then Chelsea still have to go to Anfield, and they've got to, I think they have to play Arsenal or someone again.
Yeah, they do at home. I'm going to that game, so
awesome. But so I do believe they're going to win it. But I still think there's a few twists and turns before the end of the season. I don't think Man United are going to win the league. I'd be happy with 4th right now, but I think if we can really push the boat and maybe get 2nd or 3rd, I'd be overjoyed, to be honest with you. But you made a really good point about experience, which I was going to say when you were talking about the Arsenal-Liverpool game.
Yeah.
I didn't think Liverpool played that bad. I think they started off really, really cagey, but then when they got into it, they started doing well. And there's that one chance when it was 0-0 where Markovic overhit the pass to Sterling, and Sterling just couldn't get there. It would have been a tap-in. I honestly think Liverpool really lacked experience. What I mean by that, look, they had no Skirtle, who's suspended, no Gerrard. suspended, and still,
Leaders, I think, well, definitely
yeah,
like
yeah,
Gerald, like,
yeah,
leaders in the squad that you need to go to these places and to try
absolutely.
and fight for 3 points. Sterling. People saying, "Oh, yeah, Sterling's going to be the man for this game." What was going on there? I think,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely, like you said, a lot of leadership is needed, and especially when Gerald's not there.
I mean, just in anything, the experience is vital because when you're going to, your Stamford Bridge, your Old Trafford, your Anfields, your Emirates, or wherever, big stadiums or face or teams that have notoriously good records at home, it's important that you have your best players and the most level-headed players because it's easy
Yeah,
for young kids to kind of boil over and let the occasion get to them and stuff.
definitely.
But I think Liverpool really they need to stop playing the ball from back because that's what was undoing them. Koulo Touré and Sacco, my good God, they can't tie their shoelaces. Never mind pass the ball 5 yards. I mean, honestly, because midfield wise and forward, Liverpool really decent kind of when they had the ball, but it's when the back three had the ball. Other than Emre Can I thought played really well up until he got
Yeah,
sent off. I mean, yellow card. And I've been really impressed with that kid all year. I'm kind of jealous he's a Scouser. But the other two, they don't complement the style of play. So Liverpool either need to ditch the three at the back or they need to get ball playing centre backs who can, pass the ball under pressure, left foot, right foot. And they don't necessarily have that. I think that's what Liverpool really need to do in the summer. They need to
I
strengthen
also,
that.
after obviously Suarez leaving, I mean, everyone says, "Oh, managers say we're not a one-man team, we're much bigger." But just talk about Bow, talk about Suarez. How much they've gone down. Look where Tottenham and Liverpool are. They're pretty much way off the top four now. So they've Spurs got a 0-0 against Burnley today,
Hmm.
and obviously Liverpool losing. I don't think they're near the top four anymore. So I think these kind of clubs, like leaders are needed, and I think one-man team. I think Sturridge also. He's
Big
very,
miss.
very on and off, on and off. Injured now, injured. And everyone, I think he kind of feels the pressure because Suarez, SAS they used to call it, Suarez and Sturridge, they work so well together. But this season Sturridge obviously kind of probably feels the pressure was on him a
Hmm.
bit, and obviously he's been injured now and then. And there hasn't
Absolutely.
been consistency enough for Liverpool, and that's why they're not at the level of top four.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, look, I have loads of friends who are Liverpool fans, and like I know most Man United fans really dislike or would even use the word hate towards Liverpool. I dislike them. I think hate's such a strong word, but Liverpool. I like the club for what they stand for, their history um, that they have, because I think if you like football like I do, you have to admire history and prestige and
Oh,
tradition.
definitely.
I mean, just like United have it, Arsenal have it, Everton, the top European clubs. You can't look back and say, well, that's in the past. Yeah, it's been in the past, but it kind of,
The heritage as
yeah,
well.
it tells you who you are today, and that's why I mean, like Man United fans, like we very rarely do we boo one of our own players, whether he's gone to a rival club or he's playing for some other team. We always give him a good kind of applause when he comes or when he returns, because I think that's a sign of respect and dignity and class that clubs like Man United have, and Liverpool to a certain degree. But I'm not going to be giving them too many compliments anyway. So, Liam, as we kind of start wrapping this show up, next two games, City at home next week, and then Chelsea. We've kind of touched upon Chelsea. Let's just talk about City next week. How do you think that game's going to go? Danger man or whatnot? What do you think we need to do, if we need to do anything differently, or do we need to stay the same, consistent, etc.?
I wouldn't change it around too much. When you've got an on-form team like United have been recently, I personally wouldn't change it around too much. Um, Definitely keep Falcao on the bench, just bring him on, and he might have won the game, and it might save his career for Man U. But I think danger men, Aguero, Yaya Toure always seems to turn up when it's when it's the Manchester derby. But we all know what the kind of players are capable of. Pellegrini's probably sweating a little bit because his job potentially is on the line. If they don't win anything this season, and it's not looking like, they're out the Champions League, they're out the FA Cup, they're out the League Cup, obviously because Chelsea won. The league, I don't think so. And he's probably really sweating it a little bit. So he at least definitely needs top four, and they've been going right down the table. I know they've got Palace tomorrow, so that could, if there's an upset there, how does it put them into perspective for the rest of the season? So I think there's definitely a lot of pressure on City, and maybe Man U can counter that pressure and try and turn that into a positive for them, and keep climbing up the table. Because I think always Man U's aim was just top four this season. Perfectly honest. City's aim is always to win every single trophy. Well, that's the owner's aim. That they put billions into the club, new training facilities, and sponsors won't want to up the deals, because they're not in this competition, they're not winning this, stuff like that. So yeah, I think you just got to be careful. I wouldn't switch it around the formation too much. Keep with Rooney, Fellaini, Young. Try and keep with all these players, and it's the derby.
Sure.
Everybody turns up for that, and it's going to be a massive game for sure. But I'm looking forward to it.
Massive game indeed. Well, I'm really torn. I really want Di Maria to start. Just a couple of reasons. First of all, he's going to want to take the piss out of Zabaleta, Aguero, and all his Argentinian teammates. It's that, I'm going to show you my club's better than your kind of mentality. I really want him to start because I think he's played in so many big games as well. So this is probably the biggest game that he's probably be involved in from the start, because he didn't start the Liverpool game at Anfield. But then Youngi's been playing exceptionally well, so it's a tough call. But I just for sentimental values, I'd start Di Maria to keep the same team. Good point about Yaya Toure. See, now we've got a man who can deal with him. Fellaini. Fellaini's bigger than him, stronger than him.
Yeah.
Fellaini will have him. I'm telling you right now, because Yaya Toure is a Rolls Royce of a player. He's great. He's powerful. But one thing he doesn't like to do is he doesn't like getting involved or stuck into battles.
Definitely, yeah.
He doesn't. If you watch his games, very rarely does he make tackles. He's a great ball reader. He reads the game as well. Yeah, he's good at assisting and stuff, but he's not going to get into any crunching tackles. So it'll be interesting to see if Fellaini puts one or two on him, see how he reacts, whether he withers and dies and goes away, or he raises up to the challenge. So that'll be interesting. Aguero, even though he's not scored, that guy, man, he's, for me, one of the best strikers in the world.
I think he's definitely personally still the best striker in the Premier League. Take out form and stuff, but when that guy's in form, he can be really very, very dangerous. So yeah, I think you've got to be wary of him, because obviously he still wants to see his club, and he's very much, I won't leave City until we win the Champions League. So I don't think he's going anywhere too soon.
I'm telling you, there's going to be, what you said, Pellegrini. Pellegrini's gone, mate. Pellegrini's sacked. Regardless of whether they win the league, which is virtually impossible for them to win the league, in my opinion. Because
I saw an article actually recently. Ancelotti is actually in big favour for the City job, because a lot of journalists are reporting on Pellegrini will pretty much 100% get sacked this season, and Carlo Ancelotti might come into the position. Sounds an interesting one to me, to be fair. Coming back up.
Yeah, that, and I read as well Benitez from ex-Liverpool guy. Yeah. There's going to be lots of managers. Look, City's a very attractive club. They've got a lot of money. They're going to pay their coach manager a lot of money. They've got a good basis and foundation of players.
Training facilities as well, amazing.
Phenomenal. But I do think there'll be a couple of people leaving. Yaya Toure will probably leave, in my opinion. Probably go link up with Mancini at Inter. But Aguero, I think Barcelona, if there's rumours of Messi not being happy, and I don't think that's going to happen. But you don't know in football nowadays, do you?
When there's the big money, they rethink where they should relocate.
Yeah, Real Madrid or somebody who's got more money than sense. Aguero. I mean, I'd love Man United to buy him. It'd be the biggest fuck you to
Oh,
Man City if we bought him. Well, because remember, you know what, 2010-11, when they were about to buy Rooney, and there was some goon who went out and bought a Man City top and put Rooney on the back. Remember? I mean, it could happen, but
How much? I mean, sorry,
sorry.
continue.
Yeah, one person that I'm going to mention that you didn't mention that I was hoping you would mention, and this guy I think is the best player at City by a million
David
miles.
Silva.
Absolutely, mate. You hit the nail on the head. That guy is just, I could watch him play. He's that good, you know. He's just effortless. You know? He's like his brain works at 10 gears faster than the rest of the players. I just really hope we can keep him quiet. We keep him quiet, I think we'll win. I honestly do, because like I said, you know, same with Chelsea. City have been stuttering a lot. They've not been playing great. Tomorrow's going to be a big test for them at Sellers Park. You know, I don't think it's going to be an easy game, even though Crystal Palace technically don't have much to play for, because they're technically safe almost, you know, from relegation.
Then again, they always cause big upsets. I mean, we just go back to Liverpool, what they can do. I mean, talk about their atmosphere. I mean, even you know, Charlton are quite a big derby for Palace, but it hurts me to say they actually have quite a great atmosphere at Sellers Park. And
the old stadium, you know, this kind of very intimate and intricate, you know, where I'm talking about, like, you know, we're talking about Loftus Road, QPRs. It's one of them kind of things that literally everyone's like almost pinned together, you know, and there's not much space to move, and the atmosphere, the what's the acoustics, should I say, you know, of the stadium make it louder and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. I do fancy City to win, probably 2-1, but you know, nothing majorly, but because they have to win, don't they, City?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. I'm no, you know, like if you asked me maybe about a month or so ago, how do I feel about these next two games? I probably would have said I'm shitting myself, you know, because let's be honest, because you know, Chelsea and Man City, both two really good teams, but with the confidence, the form that we've been playing, I think we can really go and get positive results. I'd take 2 draws right now, but you know, of course, I'd love the win. But as long as we don't lose, I think we'll be all right. But if we lost, I'd rather we lose to Chelsea, because it's not really going to affect the.
They're not a massive threat, are they?
Yeah, and it's not going to really affect the table, because we all expect Chelsea to win it. But if we beat City, we go above them on the table. So, you know.
I mean, I was a few weeks ago, you know, I wasn't even thinking, I think it was like 70, you know, 30 of, you know, United chances of getting top 4. But I think definitely, I'm very happy to see, as even a neutral, they've actually got their finger out and they're starting to show the performances of what United are. Because I think United without Champions League is, it's very hard to even just to see it from a neutral point of view. But I think I do believe in them now. I think definitely third if they can. You know, I think that'd be a great position. Don't have to do the playoffs for the fourth when you're in the fourth position. So yeah, I think 2 massive games. But yeah, definitely if you say 2 draws from them, I mean I would.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Liam, it's nearly time to end the show. But before we leave, I'm going to ask for your Mystic Meg predictions for who you think is going to finish top 4 in your order.
Good. Okay, so I think Chelsea will win it. I think they'll finish first. I think they've just been so strong the whole season. Even the results may have not been so convincing for the fans. I definitely still go for Chelsea. Second, I'm going to say Arsenal. I think they've got enough quality, and I think they got a bit of motivation to go win the FA Cup, and I think that they will want to show that against teams in the Premier League and for the fans as well, that they're geared up for that. Finishing second, not that fourth club all the time, which is just surrounded everywhere. And that obviously the trophy drought is gone. Because I know there's so many websites, you know, 8 years, how long it's been since Arsenal's won the trophy, but that's all done now. So I don't think they feel like they have that pressure, but definitely I think if they can retain the FA Cup, and I definitely think they'll get second spot. Third, I'm going to go with United. I think they're showing enough form, they're showing enough passion, they're actually giving something back for the fans. And I think that's great to see from United's point of view and the fans' point of view. I think they're actually starting to bond and gel together. Herrera, Fellaini all coming into form. Yes, probably sad to see that Falcao's not shining as much as we all thought when he came in on the transfer window. But I think definitely they're really doing well at the moment. I think third spot will be for them. Now fourth spot, that is a tough one. I guess I kind of feel like I have to give it to City because I think they will do enough. They do have the players at the end of the day, and when they all do bond, something does happen. So I think definitely, yeah, City fourth. I think. So I'm going to go Chelsea, Arsenal, United, and Manchester City fourth.
I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. Honestly, I have a really good feeling about Arsenal. I think Arsenal will finish second. Obviously, Chelsea first, Arsenal second. I do think we will finish third, so it's spot on in City fourth. I can't see Spurs or Liverpool really, or even Southampton, should I say.
Southampton completely gone out of it as well, haven't they?
Yeah, unfortunately. I think it's a real shame about Southampton. I think with them losing Fraser Foster, it's kind of made them look tiny bit more vulnerable, even though they absolutely outplayed Everton, I thought, yesterday. They were brilliant against Everton, but they just couldn't.
Fair play to them. Also, this was the team that sold their play coming out and so long, and even that club, they've sold them out like Spurs and just spend crazy when they've lost a big player like Liverpool. They've actually kind of brought players in, but they've made them work. And I really, admire Ronald Koeman as well for the manager he is, because I've been lucky enough to see Southampton play this season, and they're a really good side with Klein, and like I said, Fraser Forster's been massive for them as well. So
they've bought, honestly, mate, they've bought diamonds in the rough. I mean, like Ryan Bertrand, Champions League winner with Chelsea. I think they signed him for like 6-7 million. That's a steal, mate. He's an unbelievable left back. I can't believe Chelsea let him go for tuppence. And then, they find, people like Saido Mane, Ellis, Pella. They've got all these players that, people might necessarily think, oh, yeah, good player, but not for me. And he's done great with them. But I hope Southampton really fight it out and finish fifth, because because one of my really good friends is a big Saints fan, and I think everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, my auntie's actually got an apartment. It looks straight at St Mary's, so I've got a bit of family in Southampton as well. So yeah, got kind of a bit of a soft spot for them.
Yeah. I think most people, any footballing fan really does, because they play football the way it's meant to be. They're honest, small club that are really punching, no disrespect to them, above their weight, and they're doing a fantastic job. So long may it continue.
Yeah.
Okay, Liam, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, mate.
Been a
pleasure. Absolutely. And do you want to give a quick shout out and tell people where they can find you on Twitter?
Yeah, sure. You can find me at Liam P. O. Edwards. I'm usually tweeting about all football. It's my number one passion. But I try and tweet some good stuff, and hopefully you can come along and we can have a good debates. Be good debates.
Well, debates indeed. Thanks again, Liam, top guy. Thanks for watching, guys. Please watch the reruns and share it on Twitter, Facebook, and you stay classy.